WrestleMania is in the past. WWE is selling to Endeavor. Did WWE drop the ball with Cody Rhodes in the main event? Tony Khan's got another huge announcement. Let's get it. Wrestling Shoot! What is going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I'm Jesse Carter. Joined with me as always, James Pinard Jr. James, you just got back from WrestleMania weekend. This is your first WrestleMania. You got to go to night 2, unfortunately. First and probably only WrestleMania. Look, it was good for what it was, but
it might. Let's just say this might be the last WWE event I go to. Let's just say
yeah, especially considering the news that we just heard about Endeavor purchasing the WWE, and we're gonna dive into that, man. So I watched the interview on CNS. What is it?
CNBC, yeah.
CNBC, dude, and this interview was different. Let's just say it was really different. It felt really weird. We're going to dive into that, man. Listen, if you guys are not already subscribed to our YouTube, go and check that out. James actually did a bunch of shorts for us while he was at WrestleMania this weekend.
Let me see. I actually got some shirts.
A lot of good little shorts, man. We got tons of views on them. James, you had like 5 or 6 videos hit over 2K. So, and that's not a pun to the game. Yes, we got WrestleMania, KO and Sammy. He got me a shirt. He got himself a shirt, as well as, are we doing a giveaway today, James? Are we doing a surprise giveaway that we didn't announce?
We could, yeah. You have to be an XL, so.
Yeah. So if you are an XL and you join the live chat, just let us know. We are going to give away a shirt. James is doing the shipping, man. It's on him today. So yeah, if you wear an XL, we're going to pick a random person today in the chat, and we're just going to send that to you, man.
Yeah. If you're 2X, forget about it.
Yeah. So actually, he originally got that T-shirt for me, and I was like, dude, you got to get a 2X. What? I'm not a small guy over here. You know what I mean? So you got to get me that 2X, brother. So I sent him back up there to get the 2X. So this shirt is actually coming straight from WrestleMania. So whenever you get the shirt, this came from WrestleMania. So that should be a little extra bonus. James, did you enjoy it? Look, I'm being there live is different than watching it on TV. Did you enjoy yourself while you were there?
Of course.
The spectacle was amazing this
yeah,
weekend.
It's once in a lifetime thing. I had, a fan next to me that was from Italy, and he came to WrestleMania, had another guy. Some people came last minute like myself. I bought these last minute from no chairs, no luck on them. I'm shocked they put away, like I said.
You were obsessing about those chairs.
It's kind of like, I got 2 right here. It's just when's the next time they're going to come to SoFi for a WrestleMania, So you got to look at it that way.
Exactly, dude. I was telling you for months, like, look, we can't afford to go because we've seen the ticket prices, and on top of the ticket prices, we had to pay for flight, we had to pay for hotel, all that kind of stuff. You live there, so it's a drive away for you. Dude, at least just get one ticket and go. You're not going to regret going to WrestleMania. Yeah. I'm glad that you did, man.
Yeah, it was an amazing environment, good seats. From what I got out of it, I paid. Yeah, I was like on the corner, so sort of where they do like the ring bell, and I was like right behind that at a quarter slant.
Okay.
So pretty good spots. I seen people, which I don't know if it's just me. I saw this on TikTok, people getting nosebleed seats and complaining like, oh, I can't see. I'm like, well, I understand if you have kids and you want to bring them and it's a first time thing, but for WrestleMania, you're spending that much money. I'd rather just watch it at home.
You're not going to spend that much for nosebleed at a WrestleMania anyway.
You'd be surprised. People said they spent
like
about
$100
$300
or something like that.
I heard more than that, but
really,
yeah, I've heard about that.
That's ridiculous. And it's going to get worse now that Endeavor has bought in WWE. I don't know if anybody has ever inquired about going to UFC, but let me tell you, we're talking WrestleMania prices in arenas. Let's check out the live chat, man. Lagoat said, hell yeah, they dropped the ball. Positively E in the chat. What's going on, guys?
Yep, much
got an
agree
arrow
with
pointing up. CJ Productions says, hey, what's going on, CJ Productions, man? It's been a minute, man. I'm glad you're here. Chris the Psycho, hey, yo. Hey, thanks for joining again. Everything Pro Wrestling Conrad in the house said good stuff. James Lance Newwolf says, I'm an XL. Well, you are eligible then, sir.
Yeah.
Everything Pro Wrestling says I'm tapped out. Me too, bro. You're not alone in that XL stuff. Like I don't fit in XL. I need a little baggage to me. I'm
My
not
dad's
like that
the
big,
same
but
way.
I don't like skin tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He says that's awesome. Unfortunately, bigger guy here, but good luck to all the smaller people. Yeah, it's a rarity, man. So yeah, dude, it's look, man. I mean, what? I'm going to pull Cody Rhodes right now. What do you guys want to talk about? There's so much to dive into right now. My brain is on overload. There's so much ranting that I want to do on all ends of the spectrum. Maybe I'll just have James go ahead and pick out what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about your WrestleMania experience?
Yeah, let's just do WrestleMania experience if anybody else has not
let's
been
get that out of the way. James, you got what, 5 matches, 6 matches?
We got, if you want to count Shane, 7.
Bro. Oh
yeah, I mean, look, I feel for him. I was like, of all people, you had to bring him into this, but we'll just talk about that. So Lesnar Omos. Shockingly, I was like, okay, this is the first match on the card. Pretty quick match, like what, 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, if that. Everyone in my section.
It was rather fast, but this is what we wanted to be fast. So you know what? And this wasn't even that bad of a match to start out the night. This was a lot better than watching Cena in Theory night 1.
I'm surprised. It was
so night
quick.
1 was great. I got no complaints about night 1. I thought night 1, as soon as I seen night 1 of WrestleMania, I was like, bro, night 2 is still around the corner. This is like, James definitely picked the right tickets to go to night 2.
Well,
yeah. And then night 2 happened, but we'll get into it. Austin Theory, Cena, night 1, starting out. I thought Brock and Omos was a lot better because that one it was just quick and painless. And it wasn't too bad of a match. I liked Brock selling, like picking up Omos and doing the F5 and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Quick match. Nothing really spectacular. I don't know how the reaction it was on TV compared for you guys. It was pretty loud for me, of course.
Look, LA was on fire. I have no complaints about that crowd in LA. You guys had a fantastic looking crowd. The arena, the setup, everything about that WrestleMania was gorgeous. It was
once
gorgeous.
In a lifetime arena look, especially the stage with the whole. Now I will say, so obviously there was a lot of complaints if you had like upper seats and you wanted to look at the monitors. On the opposite side, which didn't affect me, it was going in and out, so people were booing, and you probably were wondering what was the random booing here and there. That's what it was.
I wasn't paying attention to that, actually, so this is the first I'm hearing.
It would be like glitching. Like for me, I would look into the inside of it. It was working fine, but a couple of things were head scratching, like with night 2. Like Bobby Lashley coming out randomly just to show the trophy and then leaving.
So we didn't get a match with Bobby Lashley. Bray Wyatt. No Bray Wyatt. He was in LA. He was spotted in LA.
Yeah, he told some fan, like, I'll be there for night 2. Didn't happen. Well, Lashley was supposed to have, I guess, something with LA Knight that got scrapped by who. And then we ended up just doing Miz and Shane for whatever reason, and then
Shane tore his quad.
Yeah,
like father,
which sucks. Don't get me wrong.
It sucks. It's an injury, but you know what? I got to make the joke. You know what I mean? At this point, fuck the McMahons. Like I told myself I wasn't gonna cuss that much on this podcast today, but I'm so pissed off at what is going on. Rated R Tokyo, what's going on, man? Says night 2 was trash. We're gonna get into it. Yeah. It's just, dude. That whole thing. Look, good save by Snoop Dogg, by the way. Good save. It was terrible. The whole situation was terrible, and Snoop doing the people's elbow, all that crap was terrible. But you know what? It was a spur of the moment save on his part, and good looking out because that was
him and Miz for guest host or whatever you want to call it. Top notch. They were very good. Nothing
Yeah.
really crazy. I'm surprised not many interviews. We didn't get little backstage segments like you do in the past,
No, but you did get
legends.
this dumpster fire of a match. This match,
Yeah.
I knew from the beginning. Why are we putting this on the card? We skipped Bobby Lashley, Bray Wyatt, and tons of other guys that wrestle on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown to put this in. This was the worst match of both nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was expecting like, hey, the men did it. Maybe the women can do a little bit more better or try to, equivalent that. Not
Yeah.
even close. You just had a
It
sad
was
finish.
terrible, dudes. I felt
Um,
bad for you when this match came on. I was like, damn,
yeah,
dude, James
yeah,
is
and I
watching
noticed
this.
like little things like Shotzi not coming out with the tank. I'm like, that has to be Vince trying to save money and every possibility. Um, I kind of figured it was going to be Ronda and Shayna winning it, but in that fashion, just very bland. Nothing really crazy. It was, piss break. I mean, no, nothing against the women. Just it was
Yeah.
these showcase matches. Like the men did it. They did a lot better. The
Yeah, the
women
men's match
wasn't
on night one was great. It was a lot
because
better than I thought it was going to be.
we don't see. There's not many high flyers. I guess in the women's division. I mean, I know
Right.
all there was Ricochet. He didn't have like a tall
Well,
monster
dude, we put
character,
over Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler,
which
and I
the
thought that we were going to put over Chelsea Green in this match.
that's what I thought. And I
that
know
was my
Shayna.
pick.
Yeah, and I've heard that Ronda and Shayna were pissed because they were supposed to get a tag team match for the belt, but then I don't know, so many swapping. You know how many is,
Yeah, yeah.
which, yeah, so far two crap matches. I mean, Brock Omos, what do you expect? Quick match, you got it over with.
Matthew Lopez in the house. It's a good evening, and F Vince McMahon, aka Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
He also says horrible fatal 4-way and WTF, Ronda didn't do jack shit. So here's the thing, man, too. You guys are coming in late, Rated R Tokyo, Matthew Lopez. We got a XL t-shirt that we're going to give away that was picked up at WrestleMania. Still got the tags on it. Stephen Kelly, what's going on, man? I see you in there. If you guys wear an XL, you guys will be eligible for this giveaway that we're going to do. We didn't announce this giveaway or anything. We just kind of wanted to give it to the people that normally show up in our chat. So, and not just people that are going to show up and just for free stuff. You know what I mean? So this is a surprise giveaway. If you wear an XL, holler in the chat. Let us know. We're going to pick a random winner at the end of this podcast. So, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Those two matches, a good start. And then we had that cool down period.
I should have got more beer, I'll just say.
It is what it is at that point. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing really you could do. But right after that is when we got the triple threat, correct?
I think so, yeah. I believe it was triple threat.
The triple threat was the following match. And, dude, this match
banger after banger
was absolutely incredible. This match and the main event were probably what you paid for, James.
Yeah, I was very reluctant. I wanted this match. Never seen Gunther live. I've seen Drew. I've seen Sheamus and Gunther. I don't know if it was just me, but my whole crowd in my section wanted Sheamus and we're just going off saying he's been here for so long. He deserved the title. I'm like, dude, Gunther's been around for not too long. This is the guy that Vince McMahon himself wanted to crap on. He was not going to be in this position, which I'm afraid for him still. What Vince is going to do with him. I hope
we're going to get all into that Vince McMahon shit right now. Right now, let's just get this WrestleMania off our chest because there's a lot to get into.
That match, Sheamus, Drew, they can kill a match easily. Gunther, dude, I didn't watch much Gunther. So for me, I don't know when the first time is when you watch Gunther.
I'm a regular watcher. I'm a regular viewer of Gunther. Okay. I am very
the first time I got exposed to him
up to par.
Was Walter was when he fought
Walter, yep.
I think it was Pete Dunne for the NXT title. One of the titles. I think it was that international. I can't remember what it was called.
It's the NXT UK title.
That's UK. Yeah. I think it was UK title.
The UK world title.
And the guy killed it. I don't know what it is. Maybe the name just stuck by for me, Gunther. Instead of Walter, I don't know what it is. I know it was a crap name, but ever since he's been peaking and peaking and peaking.
Phenomenal shape too.
Yeah, phenomenal shape.
That dude was like way chunky. Not hating on him. I'm just saying he like kudos to him. Like he's pretty put tall. In the work, man.
You put him in the right faction. The Imperium is unstoppable. I mean, I don't, I don't know if they're trying to make him like the next Roman. I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. I'm pretty sure he's going to break the record of what is it, like
Well, I hope
400.
so. I hope so, man. But yes,
So
that match right there was absolutely phenomenal. 2 thumbs up for me, man. Like as soon as I seen that match, I was like, dude, this match is killing it.
yeah,
This is
not
such a
many,
good match.
not many crazy entrances as you normally would for WrestleMania. Nothing. The women's nothing. Brock almost nothing. These guys, I don't remember. I don't think Sheamus. I don't think any of these three had a special entrance. I think same old natural entrance.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So yeah, you weren't getting too many entrances right at the beginning of this, but we did. Did this go into the women's match next? If I correct me
yes,
if I'm
yes,
wrong, was it
yeah,
the women's match
Bianca,
next? So
yeah,
we got
Bianca versus
Bianca
Asuka.
and Asuka. Before we continue, too, man, because I'm going to bring up this situation that is behind the scenes. It's so we lost another legend today, or not today, but I think it was yesterday.
I think it was Monday. Rest in peace.
Monday, yeah. One of the Bushwhackers, Bushwhacker Butch, if I'm correct.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So terrible that we keep losing these legends, and I'm pretty sure that they were both working indies. I don't know if it was him or Luke that was working indies, but one of them was definitely out there working indies. During Bianca Belair's entrance, man, we had a bunch of ESTs, little ESTs coming out, and the littlest one that same day had lost her mother before she came out on stage.
Continue on. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. So she had lost her mother, and I just can't, my heart goes out to stuff like this, man. I can't imagine what was going through this little girl's mind. She just wanted to continue on, and you know, this is one of the biggest days of her life, and unfortunately, it was one of the biggest losses as well. So, shout out to her. Terrible situation. So that was a good entrance for Bianca Belair. My pick during this match was definitely Asuka. I wanted Asuka to take this match. It didn't happen. Bianca Belair ended up taking this. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. No titles. Before we even get to the main event, no titles had changed hands on night 2 of WrestleMania. It's wild, man. It's wild. I'm going to go ahead and put myself up on the solo layout right here. James had to go take care of some business. But, yeah, it's just wild. See what the chat has to say here. Steve Kelly says XL. Matthew Lopez XL. Good, man. We're going to pick one of you guys to get one of these, or get this t-shirt. It's the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn WrestleMania t-shirt. Steve Kelly says, yes, it was. Triple threat match was awesome. He's a beast. Rest in peace, Bushwhacker Butch. Matthew Lopez says, beautiful entrance for Bianca and prayers to that young girl who lost her mom. Yeah, man, dude, that's tough. I can't imagine, man. You know, I just lost my dad last year, so imagine being, as young as her and losing your mom on one of the most important days of your life. And she killed it, man. She went out there and she did her thing, dude, and it looked great. The entrance was phenomenal. So I loved it. Steve Kelly says, I had Asuka winning. Positively wearing that Cody Push morning gear. Yeah, dude. We're going to get into it, E. We're going to get into it. I know how you feel about Cody, man, but Cody's my guy, and I'm a number one supporter of Cody Rhodes, have been since he first started in the WWE. I'm a Dusty guy, man. Like, I grew up a Dusty guy, so the Rhodes family is where it's at for me, man. This definitely needed to be redeemed on this WrestleMania, and once James is back, we're going to get right into that. Matthew Lopez, shocked that Asuka winning was going to happen. So it was going to happen, or I'm confused on that. So was this finish changed? Which is kind of strange, but if it was changed, it's news to me, man. News to me. I'm going to go ahead and get into this next match because I know James is just grabbing his keys, is having his car worked on right now, but I'm going to go ahead and get into this next match, and I know James is going to want to jump in here too, man. We got Hell in a Cell, Edge versus Finn Balor. This match was different. It was different. We got a different entrance from Finn Balor. We were supposed to get Gangrel, and I don't know if this is true or not, how much merit this has, but I was reading on a few pages that Tony Khan had given the go-ahead to Christian to come out and do the Brood entrance as well. I follow Gangrel on his personal Facebook, and he was posting that he was on his way back to Florida from Los Angeles the night of WrestleMania. So I didn't know if he was trolling or if he was going to come back out later on during the match or what was going on. But apparently something was planned with Gangrel to come out. They had the Brood Edge entrance come out. He was wearing some crazy ass mask, dude. It was really cool to see. But yeah, dude, this was a weird match. You had a lot of shots with the chairs. You had a lot of shots with colored kendo sticks, colored chairs. It was really weird. You had red kendo sticks, red chairs, and purple kendo sticks and purple chairs. It was different situation. Edge ended up picking up a ladder in the middle of this match and tossing this at Finn Balor. Yeah, you can see it live on TV. It was brutal. You could see it smack the top of his head. I knew right away that this dude had gotten hurt. Sure enough, they throw up the X. Fans are booing. They call him out. They actually put 2 staples into Finn Balor's head during this whole situation where they were checking him out, which is crazy. Dude ended up getting, I think, 17 staples, if I'm not mistaken. 17 staples after this shot to the head, man. It was brutal. Cut him all the way up his head. Brutal cuts, brutal accident. I'm sure this wasn't supposed to go down like this. Obviously, you're supposed to keep his hands up a little bit, but that ladder got him really good. And you could see the dent in the ladder. It was just, it was brutal. I really enjoyed the match. I thought that took it down a notch because, obviously when somebody gets hurt in the ring, you start worrying about them. So I feel like that little spot kind of brought that match down. We did see some different stuff. There was a little platform on the side of the Hell in a Cell. The old school Hell in a Cell, by the way, not the red Hell in a Cell. The old school Hell in a Cell was back, and I love that a lot more than the red Hell in a Cell, I'll tell you that much. So there's a little platform on the side of the Hell in a Cell right there, and Balor ended up jumping off of that, putting himself through a table, which I thought he broke his ankles. I wasn't sure what was going on there, but yeah, the Hell in a Cell match was good. Welcome back, James. I'm going to put you back on. Here, let me change the view real quick.
Yeah, I had to go handle a car situation. All done.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, yeah, so we're talking about the Hell in a Cell match right now. I wanted to just keep it moving so we can get to Cody because there's a lot to dive into when it comes to Vince McMahon. So I want to try to get past my rant as much as possible. Yeah. What do you think of the entrance for Edge?
It was different. So the video, okay. So when it started, I thought that first thing I sent you guys, that video, I thought it was for the entrance, and they were doing promotions for some horror movie. I thought, what the hell is this? Edge comes out. To me, it was different with the glass type of mask. I don't know if that. And I know everyone was asking, was it a mask? Was it CGI? It was, from what I saw, it was a mask because I see him throw something in the forest, so that's what I assumed. It was far away from me.
It was a mask, and it turns out they got it at Etsy.
Oh, geez.
Believe it or not, the same mask is sold at Etsy. It's an EDM mask. Yeah, pretty fancy. Looked really cool during the entrance shot. Cool.
Yeah. Bummer, no Christian. Of course, with Vince. Gangrel, thought they were going to involve them. I'm surprised no Judgment Day was really involved in this match. I was expecting some sort of shenanigans. And quote me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it's because Balor took that brutal ladder hit or throw. Had to get 14 staples.
Was it 14? I thought it was 17. Either way,
it was gnarly. You know how wrestling fans were. We were booing, of course. I wasn't. I was like, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's dripping blood a lot."
Did you know that they stapled him during that match?
No, I didn't know that until
they put 2 staples in his head right there at the ring.
Right. Which, hey, you got to give him props for that because I know fans in
that was a Balor call.
Yeah.
Balor said, staple
And I
me up and
was
put me back in the match. This is
right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's brutal.
Yeah, but he still went on, and I gave him props for it. I don't like the outcome because you're killing this demon character. I don't know if they're just. It's like some of the outcomes in this WrestleMania were very odd, and I don't know if it's because of that rumor that we're going to do gambling and stuff, and they were going to change outcomes and make it more difficult because it was
Yeah.
obvious. But
I
I'm
feel
just
like they
glad
called
that
this match short because of the injury, obviously.
that's what I was
Something
thinking.
happened.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We ended the match with a concerto and not a spear in normal fashion. He just it was poetry actually because of what happened to his wife.
Which makes sense. It's a perfect ending. You had a couple table spots. Obviously the move that Bauer did, jumping on the side of the cell and jumping and obviously missing. You expect that to be in the new game. Honestly, but it was a fun match. I'm not disappointed. The Hell in a Cell is always. I can't think for myself when I've seen Hell in a Cells. This is probably my third one. And it was different. It was a lot more elemental. It was, you get two different characters. Like I said, I expected more from Edge, maybe something brutish, not really much from him.
Yeah.
Maybe more blood, but of course that's what happened to Bauer. So hopefully he's okay. But honestly, good match for sure. So it wasn't a bummer. It had expectations, and you got to give Bauer props for going in and stapling him, getting staples at the time, and hey, I got to continue the match, and he did his job.
Yeah, not the best Hell in a Cell match that we've ever seen, but it was definitely different. It was good for what it was. Positively, he says, regardless of how I feel, he should have won on that night, but it can still happen, I suppose. We're going to get into that, dude. He's talking about Cody Rhodes right here. We're going to get into that. Steve Kelly says, I also am a Cody guy. Positively, E says, personally, I think Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania is a hat on a hat. Yeah. Well, for me, I like Hell in a Cell better on a pay-per-view standpoint when it's a surprise and not its own pay-per-view. Personally, I like it that way.
Especially when it's on the theme pay-per-view.
It makes it mean something.
Right.
Yeah, to me, anyway. Like, if you got a pay-per-view that's Hell in a Cell, like, so you're guaranteed to get this type of match every year. Mm-hmm. I feel like now we've seen these matches so much that it's like, how could you make this match different? You know what I mean? You're putting these wrestlers in a position to where they have to go and do the same match over and over again and try to top themselves and possibly injure themselves, depending on what they're feeling like doing that night. Yeah. He said the mask looked like the Yeezy tour. He's talking about Edge's mask. Matthew Lopez says Edge's entrance was sick. Yeah, that was one of my favorite entrances of WrestleMania. My favorite WrestleMania entrance was definitely... it was definitely Dom Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio's.
It's a mix for me with Dom and Ray.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, both of those guys, awesome, dude. How'd you feel about the sponsors this year? We had Cinnamon Toast Crunch on the ring. We had freaking Intuit TurboTax on the ring.
Which got booed heavily a number of times. I'm going to tell you, it was loud every time they showed
so crazy, dude. It's so weird. Look, going back to the Hell in a Cell match, I don't think the Edge needed that match. I think that's the thing that upset me the most. I feel like Balor needed that win, but there's a lot of crap that happened at WrestleMania that I didn't agree with, and I'll
a couple of like outstanding like winners in the situation. I know Conrad is saying the same exact thing I was saying. I was expecting a sweep. For them, I get it. Why did push Dom to do that? I guess because you got the next pay-per-view and you got to put Bad Bunny involved.
Well, I thought like so. A lot of people didn't like that Dom lost, but I feel like that is not over. Like this feud is not over, and I feel like
no, it's not over. And I
feel like this is going to end with a hair versus mask match and a retirement match.
Yeah, and I think it's. I mean, Rick Ray just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I think that's like, hey, we got to let this one slide, but. It's not bad that Ray won. It's not bad. I mean, it could be, if you look at it, you can put it as, well, it's a veteran presence versus a youngster, father versus son. So,
well, he's one of the only Hall of Famers that came in and had a match at WrestleMania that just got inducted into the Hall of Fame that was not retiring on this night, right? So
and he still has I think he's gonna go at least 2 more years. 50.
Yeah, he's active. So he's like one of the only guys to do that. So, if not the only guy, I don't know. Let's see here. Stephen Kelly says,
very, very weird. Very weird to have Cinnamon Toast Crunch, especially during that match. I'm like, it's a father and a son. I don't understand. And yes, it was an NXT star. It was, what's her name? Sol Ruka, I think, from NXT.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that. I mean, look, and they were going to do this with Bray, from what I've heard, that they were going to put Bray and have Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a sponsorship with him. Which
interesting. Steve Kelly says I was looking forward to Gangrel. Matthew Lopez says Balor cut was nasty. 14 staples. Okay, so it was 14. That was awkward during the match. Positively E says, yeah, AEW nixed the Gangrel intro because of SummerSlam. Was hoping to see something at Mania.
Yeah, we were there. So
Brian Pearsall says duty calls. Welcome back, James.
Yeah, when the car calls, got a that little pesky check engine light bastard.
Yeah. Steve Kelly says I thought Finn broke his leg, dude. Me too, because like we had a nasty leg break during the weekend from Dante Martin over in ROH Supercard of Honor. Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal. I don't even want to see that video again.
No, that's probably the worst I've seen. I've seen football ones, and this
it was nasty. Well, I don't know, dude. That arm break too. Oof.
No,
bro.
Yeah.
That Phoenix arm break, that's up there with me too, because I've actually broken my arm.
Yeah, Sid Vicious is the iconic one.
Yeah.
And what do you know? The quad. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a scary situation. Everything Pro Wrestling said. I was hoping for Judgment Day to sweep at Mania. Feud has to call for Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I understand, man. Like I thought it was weird. There's a lot of weird calls happening, but we're gonna get into why there was a bunch of weird calls happening, and I think I know why. Steve Kelly, Edge's entrance was awesome. Everything Pro Wrestling, Cinnamon Toast Crunch while Rey Mysterio beats his son. So weird. Hey, brother. You can't eat a bowl of cereal to that, then I don't know what you can eat a bowl of cereal to.
Steve Kelly whipping says, your son's ass.
Steve Kelly says we had a walking Prime bottle. Yeah. It was so weird, too, because the next day I went to my local grocery store. The first thing I run into is Prime.
It's okay, so I don't know if you're going to get into the other matches from night one, but as much as I don't like Logan Paul, I got to say that was entertaining.
It was awesome. That was a good match. Look, night one took the cake. I like, sorry to say that, James. I know. I hope you had a blast at WrestleMania.
Hey, no. It's totally
It is
fine,
what it is.
know?
But you did get to see the biggest match in WrestleMania history, I would have to say. This felt big, and we're going to get into it. Night one was awesome. I thought there was only one match that I really didn't like, and that was the John Cena match. Surprisingly, I thought everything else on the card was actually pretty good, including the Trish Stratus and Lita match. Like, I didn't think that I was going to like that match. I mean, it wasn't great much by any means, but
didn't like the outcome, but I get why from the following night of what happened. But yeah,
it's just crazy, man. Sponsors are cool, but it looks greedy AF when you already making more money than God and all the Saudi money. The ads are ridiculous. I feel sorry for the crowd. Paid for ads. Yeah, it is what it is, man, at this point. WrestleMania is bigger than the WWE. Let's just put it that way. Positively E says AEW events got no ads in person, just wrestling. Yeah, sometimes you don't even get the backstage segments for AEW. It's crazy.
Yeah, which is weird, but yeah.
I wish they would give us the backstage segments personally, but everything Pro Wrestling. AEW got DraftKings. So does WWE. Yeah. WWE has DraftKings as well. So everything Pro Wrestling, I don't mind ads as long as it's not obnoxious. Yeah, and those ads were obnoxious. I was like, dude, why are we putting this around the ring?
Yeah, I'm like, we just had Mountain Dew. Now you're getting do Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I mean, what's that?
Rated R Tokyo said Vince is back. Cinnamon Toast Crunch ad during Ray vs. Dominic was funny. Night one was awesome, and night two was okay. I feel like everybody felt like that. And you know what? I'm going to go on and say it, man. Night two had all the potential in the world. All of the potential in the world to crush night one. They just made some bad calls. And the worst call that I've ever seen in WrestleMania history was during this match. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Look, everybody knows what happened. I'm not going to give you a play-by-play on this. I'm just not. I'm not in the mood to do it. It irritates the shit out of me to even think about this. I've been stewing on it and depressed about it for like 2 days. I've been talking to you guys, everybody in our group chat. Bro, it's unfortunate. Look, you had the opportunity to make one. Look, WWE has been begging for a babyface star like John Cena. They pushed Roman down our throats. Kind of what, hold on. They pushed Roman down our throats for fucking years. For years, they have pushed this guy down our throats, and we finally get with him when he becomes bloodline and a heel and all that stuff. I get it. Cool. He finally did something that put him over, and now he thinks he's the best thing that's ever happened to pro wrestling. Great. Cody Rhodes I've followed since his young career. All right? I followed his father. I watched his father on live events. Like, I've been to see Dusty wrestle live. You know what I mean? This meant everything to me. And I didn't think I was going to get that pissed off, dude. I didn't think I was going to get that pissed off about, like, if Roman Reigns was going to beat Cody Rhodes. But every single thing changed as soon as Cody Rhodes got in that ring and you heard 70,000. Look, they said it was 81,000. I don't know if those are legit numbers. I'm going to say 70,000. 70,000 people were going absolute batshit crazy chanting for Cody. This house was for Cody. This was his moment. They could have sat there for 10 minutes and not even touched, and they could have soaked in that crowd. And I said that in our group chat. They could have sat there for 10 minutes and just ate this shit up.
Yeah.
They could have blown 10 minutes and this whole crowd. It would have been Hogan Rock all over again. Yep. That's how big this match was. It was so big that, look, you missed this opportunity. Yeah. They missed it. WWE missed this opportunity, in my humble opinion. All right? And this isn't, and look, if you're an AEW guy and you're pissed off that he left AEW and went and chased a bag, cool, man. You can be bitter all you want that he left your home company, but it's whatever, you know. I'm not like choosing sides, AEW, WWE. I'm a Cody fan, period. I don't care what he did. He left. He went and he became a bigger star in WWE. Over with. Yeah, it's done. He's like, I'm sure that we'll see him back in AEW anyway. I've always predicted that, and that's fine. Cody Rhodes, all I've heard online is this dude. Well, this isn't all I've heard. A lot of people stand with me on this, that they should have pulled the trigger on Cody. This should have been his moment. This meant so much more than 1,000-day reign. This was a legacy. And for everybody that is sitting here saying he should have had more adversity coming into this, he needs to have a chase. Bro, have you not been watching his story? Like, it has nothing to do with... That was the first
thing he did when he came in is, my story is I want to live to something.
Okay, yes, but it doesn't even start there, James. That's what I mean. Yeah. It doesn't even start when he started feuding with Roman Reigns. This started the moment he left WWE. The moment that they crowned him with this stupid-ass gimmick, Stardust, and he went and said, I'm going to go make a name for myself, and I'm going to show them what they've been missing. He went on the Independents, went on ROH, went on Impact, went on New Japan, and then made a pay-per-view and sold out Madison Square Garden. Or was it Madison Square Garden? No, it was Chicago, whatever. Sold it out, 10,000 people, right? Great. Then he goes on to help create WWE's competition, the first real competition that they've had since WCW, AEW. Okay, built some equity in AEW. Left, came back, bigger star than ever. Okay, this was all leading up to this one moment at WrestleMania. Look, you guys told me his whole quote went from undesirable to undeniable. That was all done because of WWE. His theme song was done because of WWE. His new look was because of WWE. What he says in his promos is all because of WWE and the history of this man chasing this title. So if you sit here and say that this guy has never been through adversity, I want to know what fucking drugs you're on. For real. Because this dude has always been in adversity. He's always been on the chase. I've heard wrestling promoters this week say that. Oh, this needed to happen. This needed to happen. Bro, quit being a wrestling promoter right now. I'm going to say that. If you think that this needed to happen, please turn in your company. Because I don't want to go and pay for a company that's going to not see the bigger picture here. Cody was chasing this his whole life. his whole life. And you had a chance to make this babyface star like John Cena, and you fucked it up for a 1,000-day reign.
Yeah, because they pulled the trigger on babyface stars in the past. So why is this one a little different? You did it when Cena fought JBL. You did it when Batista fought Triple H. You did it for Daniel Bryan. And granted, I know a lot of people have said, well, we want to have crack foundations in the bloodline. But this is like a huge damn moment. He's, if not one, number 2 top star of your damn company. He was getting that much praise when he came in. You had timers. When is Cody going to be on? That's how damn big he is. Now, don't give me granted. I like Roman Reigns. He's been a damn big star. This is the best time he's been in his career. But are we really going to push this to another WrestleMania and then they're going to trigger it?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Don't get me wrong. I'll enjoy it, but it's just like, why do we got to wait a year?
I like what Roman Reigns has done, too. It has been one of the best storylines, if not the best storyline in professional wrestling. But how fucking long are we going to keep this title on Roman? How long am I going to have to tune into a shitty 3-hour Raw to see one segment with Roman Reigns holding the title? How long do I have to tune into SmackDown to see the same thing? How long, James? How long? And this is not me just wanting something different. I've always wanted something different. Nobody wanted Roman Reigns. And if you think Nobody.
If you think about it, you already, you could still continue the bloodline without the damn belts. You can continue it. Whether it's the 1,000 reign thing, I don't even know if they were looking into that, for all I know. They might have looked into that when maybe fans noticed, hey, he's almost to 1,000 days, which I believe 1,000 days is at Madison Square Garden. I believe I saw the other day. So I don't know if they're going to do anything with this.
Listen, with 1,000 days, he's not breaking any major records. He's not. No, he's not. There have been people before him that have held that title for like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I think the top one I saw it was like 22,800 something for Bruno. I know he can pass like maybe 2 or 3 people. I know that, which they probably will push it to at this point. But it's just like, why not Los Angeles? I'm nothing against Philadelphia, but why would you do it at them? And that's if they even do that.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, that WrestleMania that you just went to, much bigger than anything they're going to put on in Philly. I promise you. Los Angeles, dude, come on. It's Los Angeles.
Yeah. So
much more popular than anything on the East Coast except for Madison Square Garden.
We were thinking, well, either this is going to be one or two things happening when we were at the event. I figured certain things were going to happen. You already had the Usos lose. That's one cracked foundation. Yeah. What's wrong with the whole thing, imploding? Yeah. If you think about it, now there could be bad outcome with this, with the whole sale and everything. And they could have said, well, we'll give Cody the belt, but then we're going to give it back to Roman. And I'm pretty sure that still would have pissed us off. Like, really just did all that.
Here's the thing. The moment's gone. The moment's gone, dude. This was the time to do it. Mm-hmm. If they're planning on doing it in Saudi, guess what? It doesn't mean anything now.
No, he's not.
And listen, WWE fans, wrestling fans in general, not just WWE fans, all wrestling fans, they get bored easy. Cody was the most over than he's ever been right there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That title should have been put on him right then and there.
Yeah.
You tell, if he is still that over come next year in Philadelphia, I will be shocked.
He was that over
Absolutely
on the
shocked.
night of Raw, but, Raw's a whole different discussion. That was just for complete shit, if I will. And I don't know if
are you talking about the Raw after Mania?
Yeah, the Raw after Mania.
So we're not even talking about that right now. We're going to talk about that as soon as we talk about the sale and everything. But
you're not going to see Roman you're not going to see him for Backlash. You're not going to see him in Puerto Rico. I doubt it. You're not going to see him for Money in the Bank. I doubt it.
Yeah,
might see. You're going to see him for SummerSlam. Whoever he fights, it could be one of the Usos. It could be somebody else. I don't know. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying there's not other opponents, because could they fix this? I mean, they could. They have their potential to fix in this, but I mean, the moment it's already lost, but you could regain it. You could have.
I hope so.
I don't know what
I
hope
doing.
So.
I look, it's gonna still mean something to me when Cody does win the title. I'm not saying that it won't. What I'm saying is the moment they have lost that special WrestleMania moment, because next year's not going to be the same. I promise you.
Mm-mm.
So let's get to some comments real quick so we can stop me from ranting and throwing my mic over the through the computer screen. Positively E says, laugh my ass off. Yes, you do miss the backstage here and there at AEW.
Yeah.
He also says disappointing. He's talking about this one. Brian Pearsall, damn, I was hoping for a recap. Sorry, bud. Sorry, man. Look, I had a lot to get off my chest on this Cody Rhodes match. I thought it was the biggest mistake and the biggest drop of the ball that WWE's done in many years. And trust me, they drop the ball every single week with their television show. But this was the worst call that I can remember ever seeing. Stephen Kelly says, I agree with you, Jesse. Positively E says, Vince used to say, send them home happy. Yeah, what happened to that?
He's like, well, you got night one, pal. That's all you get.
Vince also said, fuck them. You remember that quote from Vince?
Yeah.
When it was leaving angry on a pay-per-view? So Vince don't care about you, bro.
No.
Vince don't care about none of us, and he proved that right here. He cares about certain people. And we're going to get into that bullshit, too, here in a minute. Matthew Lopez, I truly stand by this. Was bad call. This wasn't worth wasting a great story for a 1,000-day title reign. No, dude, not at all. This was bad call isn't even the word for it. This is look, I was so heartbroken for Cody when I watched this. So heartbroken. Like, bro, I didn't even I was so active in the chat and everything. We have a group chat and we were talking and talking. You know, as soon as I seen that 3 happen, it took me a minute to realize what had just happened.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was, you know,
it was like the Undertaker 3 when the Undertaker took the pin at WrestleMania.
We kind of figured, hey, Usos are good. If the Usos lose, maybe Roman's going to retain. And well, that's what exactly happened. And I was telling everybody here that when I was leaving the arena, it seemed like a lot of Roman Reigns fans were just smashing like, Cody, go back to AEW. There's no shortcuts here, pal. So, I mean, there's a certain fan base that just does not want him here. I had a Hulk Hogan fan in front of me just doing the Roman Reigns finger point. It was very against Cody.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I'm like, I mean, look. What other pay-per-view are you going to lose at that would make a damn sense? It's either WrestleMania. You could do SummerSlam, but I'm not no disrespect, but it's Detroit for F's sake.
Yo, O'Shea Jackson Jr. too, Mr. Roman and Cody hater, dude. I got one thing for you, man.
You fucking mark.
Fuck that guy, dude. He's talking all that shit. He always talks shit on AEW, all that stuff. This dude's a WWE shill. Got no respect for him anymore, man. I thought I was a fan, but that dude he gets under people's skin just to get under people's skin. It's fine if you like one company, you know what I mean? But when he starts talking out his ass like Jim Cornette, I don't have no respect for you anymore. Positively, he says 5 years of suffering succotash from Roman. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Stephen Kelly said, yeah, they could have ate it up, but totally WWE dropped the ball. He also says Cody should have won, but they cheated him out of the championship.
It was very bland of a finish. That's the thing that bothers me because
they had so much like shenanigans happen. You had Solo Sikoa the whole match like punking out Cody,
which is fine. That was perfectly fine. Eventually, he gets kicked out. You had the Usos come out. You had Kevin and Seth. I kind of predicted all that.
That moment was cool because we got to see the Illuma kick from Sammy to Roman.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like they do the 1D, the Cody, then the stunner and the Huluva kick. And then on the left of us, we were right next where all the security was, and they were just stand up in a line. And it was either, well, who's coming out of there? And lo and behold, of all things, you couldn't come up with anybody else. You had to come back with Solo Sikoa coming, all dressed up in a hoodie.
Yeah,
really.
Let's get to these comments so we can take a break and then get into this Vince McMahon stuff. When Cody lost, I almost lost it. Matthew Lopez says, I should mention, if no one watched AEW Dark tonight, Excalibur on commentary said Willie Mack signed AEW contract. Wow.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
I have connections with them. So
yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Lance Newwood said, was that shade at Prestige Wrestling? No, but I did see William from Prestige Wrestling commenting some stupid shit as well. I love Prestige Wrestling, but come on, man. Like, that's a bad call. Like, I wasn't putting shade on Prestige Wrestling right now. I've seen a lot of promoters saying this, so no, that was not shade at Prestige Wrestling. I love Prestige Wrestling. That is my home promotion. I'll always have love for them. But that was a dumbass comment from William for sure. Positively E. And William, you know what? I'm cool with William. He's been on the show tons of times. I would love to have him come on the show and we could talk about this like men. Positively E says, ever hear the story of Cody's last day in WWE? He told Kofi he wasn't going out as Stardust later. As he was applying his face paint, he sees Kofi watching from the corner of his eye. No, I'd never heard that, man. That's crazy.
That wouldn't.
Steve Kelly says, how much longer will Roman be champion? Who knows? Till the end of WWE. Matthew Lopez says, freaking hope it isn't Saudi. Everything Pro Wrestling says, yeah. And he says, I feel this is like Cena's storyline, WrestleMania 28 to WrestleMania 29. Yeah, and that storyline sucked, bro. It sucked. Let's just call a spade here. Matthew Lopez, only option is for Cody to win Money in the Bank and cash it in at SummerSlam because waiting another year is too much. I agree with that. If you're going to do it, just do it at this point because you've already cost him his moment. You know what I mean? I hope he does it dirty, too. Like, he gets the Money in the Bank, cashes it in all dirty on Roman. Roman deserves to lose that way. But then again, I'd like to see Roman get pinned clean. Like, that's what I want. I want Roman to get pinned clean. The fact that they're making this guy look so strong is ridiculous. Like, this fool lost to Braun Strowman how many times? So, I'm hoping Wednesday Tony Khan announces AEW Fight Forever. I am too, but I don't think that's the major announcement. This is supposed to be. I think it has something to do with the actual product. But
I think maybe a third show I've heard, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he claims it's big, so I don't know. But
if that's big, then bro, come on, you got to put over your second show first. Rampage is. I'd never watch Rampage.
Yeah. No.
Matthew Lopez says, I agree, Conrad. They are doing Cena storyline from when he lost to The Rock on to Cody. Look, he had the boo-boo face.
That's
losing
exactly
and now
what they
after him.
did. Yeah. And then with the following Raw, that's what it seems like they're going with.
Shortcut. Cody has the IC title in one of the most famous pictures with Punk, Beth, Airboom, Zack Ryder, etc. It's 10 years old. Yeah, so who said shortcut? I didn't say nothing about shortcut.
No, some fans. I think it was some fans like, oh, yeah. It was like a particular fan. I don't know. We were leaving the arena and they had to check the chairs. And somebody just mentioned, Cody, go back to AEW. There's no shortcuts here like AEW where you could have just walked your way into being the champion.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
There was a lot of slander.
Stevie Kelly said, why did Brock Lesnar beat up Cody? Bro, I got no answers for you. Vince McMahon, that's why. We're going to get into that too, man.
Yeah, it's I mean, hey, that's Brock's boy, Brock and Vince. I mean, what do you expect?
There is so much to dive into because WWE is now a part of Endeavor. We're going to dive into it right after a short message from our brother over at Conrad Cushman over at Everything Pro Wrestling. No Manscaped ad tonight, guys. No Manscaped ad. We are taking a week off from those ads, but I am going to throw my brother Conrad a bone. So we'll be right back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Pro Wrestling Shoot listeners, this is Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling, here to let you know that Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And every Monday, we are live on YouTube with our classic show, Clash of the Podcast, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to myself and my tag team partner, Sean Hubbard of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, talk all the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Also on our YouTube channel, live every Wednesday following AEW Dynamite, myself and Derek bring you the live post-show coverage. Make sure you guys are tuned in to check us out. And did I mention we are also on audio platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Now, let's get back to listening to the guys of the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Right after WrestleMania went off the air, we heard of the sale and the merger between Endeavor, UFC, and the WWE. Endeavor owns UFC. Let's, what is his name? Ari Emanuel. Mm-hmm. So Ari Emanuel lets Dana White run UFC. Apparently, he's going to let Vince McMahon run the WWE. So there was an interview about all of this, obviously on CNBC. Very interesting stuff, man. I literally just watched that interview right before we went on the air, man, because I wanted to pick it apart. I wanted to pick this apart so much. Here's a quote from the interview. Together, we will be a $21+ billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and an exciting growth opportunity. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So here's the thing, Vince. We ain't shit. UFC has a big audience, and they've had a big audience. I don't know how they're still a big audience, but that's where the real fighting is. So let's go ahead and put a cap on that, okay?
Yep.
UFC is real sport, real combat sports right there. And that's no shade at professional wrestling because I'm a huge fan of pro wrestling. But I'm also an MMA junkie, and I have been, and this is something that I grew up doing years and years ago. So here's the thing. You're not going to bring UFC fans over to WWE. They don't watch WWE for a reason, because it is scripted. They don't like scripted fights. They watch the real fights. UFC has been very tame for a long time. There's no stars. Since Conor McGregor left, there's no stars. You can say John Bone Jones, is your star over at the UFC. This dude is handed every opportunity there is, really. He's a great fighter, but he's also one of those guys that is going to fail a USDA drug test over and over and over again. So it's up in the air with that guy. You just never know what's going to happen with John Jones. Great fighter, a lot of respect for him. He does bring the money fights, I guess. He's not a very entertaining fighter in my eyes. Like, he's not one of those fighters that I want to watch personally. Like, he's not one of those guys that's going to go out there and have a banger. He's going to pretty much hold you down and beat you on the ground for a while. But either way, no stars in UFC for the most part. John Jones, Paddy Pimblin. Paddy Pimblin is just one of those guys that runs his mouth. He's not one of those. He's not a Conor McGregor. He's not one of those guys that can run his mouth and go and back it up in the cage as well, like against top talent. Conor McGregor's not even there anymore. He's not one of those guys anymore either. He's just
Khabib is gone.
Yeah, he's just kind of Khabib's gone. So it's a different world over there in UFC. This interview happened on CNBC, man. First of all, Vince McMahon looking creepier than ever.
The stash.
It is absolutely ridiculous how this man looks. And the way he talks, you could just feel this was such a weird interview, man. Scott, what's his name? Scott Wapner. CNBC,
that sounds about right.
Interviews Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel. So this interview, Scott is asking Vince tons of hard questions. I loved it. This dude was not pulling any punches. What are you doing, James?
Oh, just checking some plug.
Well, so yeah, this guy was not pulling any punches. Vince's body language in this interview, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's on YouTube. Go and check this out. It is such a weird interview. Once again, not pulling any punches. He was asking him all the questions about the hush money, the scandals, everything like that. And the way Scott was looking at him when he was talking to him, like, why now? Why sell him? You had Saudis, you had everybody else. The New York Times, everybody was posting that Endeavor was basically just waving off a sale of WWE. What is going on? Why are we selling to Endeavor now? Then Ari goes on to say, I've known this man for 23 years. We've been doing business for 23 years. It's been wonderful. This man needs to stay in this business and blah, blah. Dude, there is something going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of. Somebody has dirt on somebody.
Yeah.
First of all, WWE is not worth $9.3 billion. It's not. Its capped market is $6 billion. That's what it's worth. Okay? Let's put that into play. Why is Vince McMahon now getting 9.3 for this merger? What's really going on in this interview is being hid. But Scott was not look, he was asking him, like, what made you want to change? Did the scandal have anything to do with it? Did the hush money have anything to do with the sale? And he said no. But you can see in this interview that Vince was looking so sketchy, kept looking over at Ari. It was weird to see Vince McMahon in an employee role.
Yeah.
Because he was looking at his boss, his now boss, which was the strangest thing. The strangest thing that I've ever seen was Vince looking up to somebody rather than down to somebody. Now Vince has somebody to answer to, which is wild to me. And look, when Vince was getting defensive on some of these questions, but then Ari had to stop him and like, here, let me explain. Dude, go and watch this interview. Go and watch it. I recommend everybody to check it out on YouTube. It's on YouTube, the full interview. Go and check this out. CNBC, Scott Wapner killed this interview. Fantastic job. And he was serious the whole time too. He wasn't like joking around with him. Vince, was then asked about being a part of creative. Yeah. So he's asked being a part of creative. Are you going to be back in the creative? And he says yes and no. The higher creative, yes. In the weeds, no. What does that even mean, for one? In the weeds, no. So we're talking about we're not going to be creating anything for Dolph Ziggler, right? Your lower tier guys, Dolph Ziggler, Ricochet, all those guys. We're going to let Triple H go ahead and handle them. But when it comes to my titles and how many times I'm going to change a show format throughout the show, that's when we're not getting in the weeds. Because I don't know if anybody's seen the dog shit that was on USA last night for the 3-hour Raw After Mania special. An hour of commercial free. Ooh, yeah, awesome.
First of all, it was your typical.
I watched 15
Raw.
minutes of this shit show because I already had enough right after Triple H came out. So Triple H comes out, gets this huge pop. By the way, shame on you, Los Angeles. Shame on you for popping for this liar, because Triple H has told us forever that we are getting change, right? Do you remember that promo back in the day with Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon all in the ring? You guys want change? We're going to give you change. Bullshit.
It was the big finger. From what I got out of him coming out on Monday was, we're not going anywhere. It's pretty much, from what I got, it's a farewell tour. Hey, I'm gone. Old man's back.
Yeah. So here's what we know. Okay. Last night's show was not run by Vince McMahon. Or I mean by Triple H. It was run by Vince McMahon. This was a Vince McMahon product, and I'll bet you anything that I own that Vince McMahon was definitely having his fingers dipped into WrestleMania the night before and the first night of WrestleMania as well. You can tell just by how the show format was. No surprises happened. Nothing special.
You had Riddle come back, which was their biggest thing. And
on Raw.
Right. Yeah, and I just saw it was like 10 minutes ago, they already fired Vince chants on NXT.
Well, yeah.
So
well, that's not going to happen, obviously.
No.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Vince McMahon says that he's not going to get into this creative. We all know it's bullshit. Okay. We've known it's bullshit from the start. Triple H, the night one of WrestleMania, on their press conference after the first night of WrestleMania, got on there and he was asked about why are we not getting some of these stars on WrestleMania, but we got room for people like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. And Triple H said this, serious as a heart attack. He said, oh, well, these guys are bigger stars. If they want that spot, they need to step up. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me with this? These guys go out there week after week and bust their ass in the lowest of low cards on your roster and literally do amazing things every single week. They dress up in ridiculous gimmicks for you. They get pies thrown in their face. What else do you want these guys to do? Step up their game. Logan Paul comes in and trains one time and gets in a spot. Granted, the match was good. I'm not shitting on what he has done for the WWE since he's come in. It's been great. It's been entertaining. But is he a better athlete than a Ricochet?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying here? Like, for him to come out and say that just tells me that he doesn't give a shit about his roster, for one. And then on night two, he comes out and says, you know, it really surprises, or it never seems to amaze me when people ask that question, why did you do this? Why did they do this? And then he comes out and says, he says, you know, he wanted to finish the story here in WWE. The story's never over. The story's never over. It continues the next night at a sold-out crypto arena and blah, blah, blah. Dude, Triple H is now a puppet, man, and he is deemed untrustworthy. And this is coming from a dude that had so much hope. I had so much hope in Triple H, dude, because I think that even before AEW started, and the reason why AEW has so many fans today, and I still believe it to this day, is because they were tired of WWE, and they thought that if another company came in, we were going to get something different, an alternative to what we are getting shoved down our throat each and every week.
Yep.
And so now these fans that came from WWE, who grew up watching WWE and loved WWE and just wanted them to do better, now switch to AEW. And now AEW is giving them a product that they actually like. And WWE is not doing anything better. They're doing the same old stuff. They don't care.
Yep. It's going
and
back
it's
to
amazing
the
to
old
me, dude.
formula.
It is amazing to me that a company can have such good competition over here. Granted, look, this is coming from an AEW company that talks about demos. They talk about, you know, ratings. Look, the ratings are not that good. They can barely draw 1 million, and then they talk about the demo, right? And, oh, we had the higher demo than WWE. Yes and no, okay? You had a higher demo than WWE based on your figures of ratings, correct? Mm-hmm. So if you're based on your figures of ratings, you had the higher demo. If you had the higher demo and you guys had the same amount of ratings, say that you did a 2.2, right? In the ratings, like SmackDown usually does. SmackDown does a 2.2, so let's compare this. If you have a demo that's better than SmackDown on a 2.2, then yes, you had the better demo. But when SmackDown's drawing a 2.2 and you're drawing 700,000, then your demo really isn't as high as what they're drawing in their demo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The numbers just don't add up there, and that's fine. That's fine. AEW, I have faith they'll get to it. But here's the thing, man. WWE just doesn't care about any of us anymore, and that sucks. That really sucks because I've had a life invested into this company.
They claim that they know what's best for us. I mean, what's best for business, but
this is what you're getting in WWE.
We're just going through the
now
cycle.
On.
You give us the high, you know, you're disappointing us, then you give us the high up, then back down. It's just a circle that they keep going, and it's pissing fans off, and that's why as not all of us, but there's a majority base that will say, well, we're going to AEW because it's our fun. It's the same when WWE was doing crap. People went to TNA, you know,
yeah.
And whether the rumor or not is true, if there's been wrestlers that supposedly have already asked that if this continues, I'm out of here. I've heard they scrapped Bayley from Raw, and I've heard, and there's already the tweets going out that it's subliminally.
They do not want Vince McMahon around. And unfortunately, this is what you're getting. Like I said, Triple H in that press conference came off like a puppet. He came off like a puppet, and this is who's controlling the strings right here. Vince McMahon is behind all of this. Listen, man, this was Twitter, the night of WrestleMania Night 2. Horrible tweets. This is trending in combat sports. And the only thing that was on combat sports that night was WrestleMania. So 113K tweets in horrible. 65.1K tweets in boring. Cody Rhodes trending in 65.9K tweets. This is just Twitter. Look, they had the most successful WrestleMania of all time. This is what their goal was. And I believe it could have been. And you know what? And everything, when it came down to the spectacle, the look of it, everything was great, other than like over-sponsoring it and not having Roman drop the title. If Roman would have dropped the title, I think that this could have possibly been one of the greatest WrestleManias.
They had like the most dislikes on one of their videos with Roman winning the belt. It had like 35,000 dislikes.
In one night. In one night
alone.
Yep.
The Raw was probably, I think it was like third worst Raw of all time. It had like a 0.50. It was just so bland. It was, you can tell.
Why are we making these side plates there, James? Why is WWE making these side plates and we're not going to drop the title?
I don't know. I don't even know if that was
this for later. This to give people hope
next year, dude. It's gonna be Mania because I mean, or if they want, I mean, it's either SummerSlam or Mania. He won it at SummerSlam. Is that when they're dropping it? Are they gonna? I don't even know if they're going to have him conquer Roman. It could be somebody else. It could be Seth. I don't know. And I believe Matthew Lopez mentioned earlier, yeah, it was weird with this with Seth. Yeah, he did the whole thing. The party's outside. He went out to the arena. They sang a song, and there's a TikTok that came out. Somebody recorded, and it's somebody giving him a cue, like, "Hey, Vince said, go into the back. This is done."
And that was on Raw last night. Yeah,
it was so many.
Somebody
audibles.
was sitting behind the production table, and they seen 3 times the format get changed. They brought 3 different formats out in a 45-minute span.
Yeah, there's certain things didn't sound like Michael Cole did not sound like Michael Cole as of late. It wasn't the
everything was weird about it, man.
Yeah,
Triple H came out and said absolutely nothing at the beginning of the show. Absolutely nothing.
It's a farewell. I'm not in charge. I know they claim that. Oh, I'm still in charge. You're not. It's the old man.
We're kind of getting blown up in comments. Let's get to some of these. Ready for that John Jones versus Roman Reigns title fight. Here's the thing, man.
You had a guy.
Is this the real forbidden door that we're getting eventually?
Dude, you had a guy. You had Cody Rhodes get his ass handed to him by a guy that was in the UFC, Brock Lesnar. The first day after the Endeavor deal, and you have Brock Lesnar on top. Come on.
Yeah. Let's check this out here. Chris the Psycho. Oh, that was a comment I already got. My bad.
If I have to say it, there was probably one thing on that good Raw. That maybe one thing on that Raw that was maybe worth it, and that was Ray versus Austin Theory and the Bad Bunny stuff. That was probably the only thing that was good. Everything else was garbage.
It's a tough deal, man.
Maybe SmackDown will prove me wise, but I don't even know if anybody knows where SmackDown is this week. But let's see how WrestleMania back. I mean, there's so many things. The first thing I know, a lot of people was, what is it, medical facility or medical local facility? Come on, are we really gonna go do this crap again?
It's coming, man. Brace for it. The releases, everything that came with Vince McMahon, it's all coming back.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Roman winning, it's done. It's over. He's there. Could they make the bloodline a little more better than they could? Yeah, this is going to be the second foundation. Eventually, like I said, it's going to be, like I said, Roman versus the world. The whole bloodline, they're going to turn on him at some point. He's going to push them over to the point they say the hell with them. And whoever they have as their world leader. But I mean, could you imagine if they dropped the ball and said, yeah, Cena, you're not beating JBL. Hey, Batista, you're not beating Triple H. Hey, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, you're not winning the belt.
Well, they've done that a lot with Triple H.
Look how much they did that with Daniel Bryan. That was how bad it was. Where
Triple H literally came out and was like, I'm the game. Let's get this show started. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. WWE's not going anywhere. Get the fuck off my TV, dude.
What's the
I'm
model
over it.
again?
Triple H makes me sick at this point.
I forgot what the model was. Like, that's...
This is the crust stash that Conrad Cushman's talking about. If you guys are joining us over on the YouTube version in the live chat, you can see the pictures and the images that we put up. Come and join us next week if you're listening on the audio. Would love to have you. Vince McMahon is looking crazy.
Vicente McMahon.
He's looking weird, dude. it is what it is. He looks like a creep, which definitely matches his personality, man. It is what it is. Matthew Lopez, Vince McMahon has the face that wants to say, welcome to Fantasyland. Yeah, Fantasy Island, yeah. So, positively, Walt Disney Vince. Yeah, that's an awesome interview. I think he meant to say tough questions were asked. Everything pro wrestling, it's cap, all right. Because you said cap market. Yeah, question, did UFC get better or worse after Endeavor sell? So UFC got worse when they lost stars. I'm going to say it. It's just like the pro wrestling business. When you don't build stars, it gets worse. WWE had a chance Sunday night to build the biggest star that they've had since John Cena. Just going to leave it at that. UFC, when you got people just, I don't know, controversy creates cash. Eric Bischoff is not lying when it comes to that.
No,
and when it comes to UFC fights, what sells a UFC fight is people talking shit. And if nobody's talking shit and they're just, I respect my opponent and stuff, nobody
That's
wants
why
to see a fight, bro.
That's why boxing lost its credibility. You had one guy, and that was full admitted. Now it's changed completely now, but still, it's yeah. I mean, Brock knows he was in UFC, and his thing was just talking smack.
Cody got sunned, and now Vince getting sunned. I got to see this. Vince used to punk out Bob Costas and Michael Landsberg. This sounds better than Real Sports and Off the Record. You got to see it. It's a really good interview because I feel like the interviewer, what was his name? Scott. I forget his last name now. Had it, but he did a good job interviewing him because he didn't pull no punches. I like that. Chris Psycho says, "Yep, one of the reasons I stopped watching WWE, they always lied to us. Nothing ever changed, and it's not going to now." Matthew Lopez last night's show was hot garbage. I mean, that Seth segment was weird. Yeah, it's because it got changed right at the last second, so that's why it was weird.
And he was generally pissed. You've seen there was a lot of superstars. You can tell their facial expressions weren't there. Becky Lynch looked pissed off. Seth. I mean, the rumor of Drew supposedly going to be leaving, Bailey supposedly leaving. I don't know what's going on.
We'll see what happens, man.
Jay White's not in talks no more.
I don't think Jay White was ever in talks. And here's my thing, dude. Like, Jay White, like, everybody was expecting Jay White and was like, oh, Jay White's not going to sign. Bro, Jay White was never, like, that big star to me anyway. Jay White is not one. He's not going to be
they had him up there. They had him up on the list, and then that's when the Vince
Who had him? Who? Dave Meltzer?
No, it wasn't Dave.
We talking Dave Meltzer?
I think it was from WrestleVotes. I think it was from him that said it was what's his name? Yeah, Jay White, and it was
okay. Well, now you know WrestleVotes is full of shit, and we don't listen to dirt sheets on this podcast anymore.
I forgot what's his name was up there too, and he's still not signed to any company.
Yeah, I don't think that Jay White would have been a needle mover for the WWE. I just don't. I don't think maybe he would work in the AEW crowd just because everybody is familiar with him. That's the smarter crowd over there. WWE is not as smart as people think they are. And I know you could say, oh, well, you could Google him. Well, bro, you're not going to – it's still not going to get that big of a hype.
I mean, it worked for Nakamura. I mean, it worked for him, and he wasn't really as big.
But you still had to build up Nakamura for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, and then look how that went. Yeah, look how that went.
Yeah. Yeah, and where's Nakamura now? Everything Pro Wrestling said 100%. Triple H sounds son to me. 100% from Rated R Tokyo. Triple H in press conference came off weird. Yeah, basically Triple H came off like a puppet. That's what he was. He was a puppet. He came in, threw his middle finger up at all the fans that believed in him because he knew Daddy is back. So that's what happened, man. And you could see it in his face. He tucked his tail and ran and gave us a Vince McMahon interview is what he did. Triple H is the fall guy for Vince. Exactly. That's what he's gonna be. Legoat came in to say F Vince, ruining WWE again. Back to listening mode or I'll start cussing. Let it loose, man. Let it loose. Thanks for joining us, Legoat. Steve Kelly says, Vince needs to leave WWE the hell alone and let Triple H handle everything. Well, maybe Triple H isn't the right man for the job either. I think that he's proved that over the last, 8 months? So
it didn't take long. So
Matthew Lopez says, Triple H sounded like a defeated man in the press conference. That's because he is, and he knows there's nothing he can do about it. I bet you that's the Saudi Arabia main event, McGregor versus Roman. I wouldn't be surprised.
Tyson Fury might come back for all I know. Coming soon.
Dick Dastardly, a.k.a. Vince McMahon. Triple H living that hex from Brett's ex-wife from Wrestling with the Shadows. You need to stop with that. Wrestle Talk had White to WWE. Yeah, Wrestle Talk did. Yeah, there's a lot of people that had Jay White to WWE. They were wrong. Jay Wyatt is the Seth we have at home. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of Jay White either. So, I mean, I'm probably in the minority for that. And I'm okay with it. Jay White is not like, he's not like an AJ Styles signing to me. He's not a Seth Rollins signing to me. It is what it is. I'm hoping that the major announcement tomorrow from Tony Khan, and we're going to get into that too, is something to do with a certain superstar, ex-superstar, I guess. I don't know, dude. This whole Vince thing. Look, let's talk about pay-per-views. James, if we switch over to Endeavor, Peacock deal comes up when 2026.
You bet you're not going to have me paying for them.
Okay, yeah, $50. And if Endeavor's owning it and they want to charge as much as UFC, you can bet your ass that WrestleMania is going to at least cost $100 per night.
No,
per
thank
night.
you.
You're going to
No,
pay
thank you.
$200 to watch 2 nights of WrestleMania, guaranteed.
Good
Because,
thing we got
like
the
I
fire
said,
stick.
if you've never watched UFC on pay-per-view, I suggest looking that up on ESPN, seeing how much those pay-per-views run, bud. About $70 plus tax. And if you try to go to a UFC event, I'm talking even Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, which is not that big of an arena, you're paying WrestleMania prices to go and sit through this event that
For
could
this-
end within seconds of a fight.
Yeah,
So.
for this Mania, they were charging. I want to say it was on DirecTV when I went to my parents' place. It was like $40 a night on just DirecTV, which
Really?
now it was 40 for each night.
Oh my!
I don't know who
goodness.
buys. I don't know who buys on the TV, but I mean, I guess if you're not a big Peacock subscriber, which I don't understand it, but yeah, it was $40, and I had to double check, and it was for each night. So
Look, you can't
$80.
you can't condition your audience to pay $10 a month for Peacock and get possibly 2 pay-per-views a month for $10 and then go back to a pay-per-view type format to where we're paying $50. Dude, these guys run so many premium live events. We cannot go back to the pay-per-view status.
I mean, hell, to go watch an AEW pay-per-view, I can get it cheaper than $40. You can go watch it at the movie theater for like $20.
Yeah.
Maybe less
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, but you
So,
got restrictions. You can't do what you want in the movie theater. Just saying.
I wouldn't know. Never done it. I've never watched the pay-per-view over there at a theater.
Well, I mean, you've been to a movie theater. You know how, you got to be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know if everybody's raging in there and cheering or what. I'm sure they are, but
Yeah.
it's, Vince fired his daughter, man, positively. He said, yeah, he did. Dude, that's what's crazy, too, is like all these years, this is how greedy this man is. This guy did not just sell WWE because it was the right person in the right time. There is something that we don't know about this situation. And the fact that he told Scott on the interview that that the allegations against him and the hush money and all the slanders, all that stuff, the scandals, everything that he went through had
Go ahead.
nothing.
I gotta take a call. Go ahead.
Yeah. The fact that he said that this had nothing to do with him selling is full of shit. Full of shit. This had everything to do with him selling. He needed to sell so he can get somebody that wanted to put him back in the position of running the show again. That's what he wanted. And if anybody thinks otherwise, you're a fool, because this is Vince McMahon we're talking about. He did not want to walk away. He said in the interview, too, I fully intended on leaving wrestling. And then Ari was saying, I wouldn't let him. Vince McMahon is WWE, and WWE is Vince McMahon. And this will always be Vince McMahon, and blah, blah, blah. He was just, saying whatever he had to say. But this was a way for Vince to stay in the company, which is people like Everything Pro Wrestling, myself and a few others have always said, like, Vince is going to sell to somebody. If this sell ever does go through, Vince is going to sell to somebody to keep this in his name for the most part. So now he got his wish. He's back in creative. He's back around. I don't know how people get away with this kind of crap, but now we're stuck with Vince McMahon, unfortunately. So it is what it is, man. I think that we're going to end this on a high note on the Vince McMahon talk, and we'll start talking about some AEW because we got a loaded card tomorrow night, and I'm excited about AEW. I'm excited about pro wrestling being back. Guys, we're sponsored by Manscaped. I'm not going to run an ad today, but go and check Manscaped out and use that promo code PWShoot. We got another sponsor coming. I don't know if it's going to be later this month or next month. Next week, we will not be running a stream. I'm going on vacation. I'm taking a break from pro wrestling, which is much needed. I love pro wrestling, but after this weekend, man, I need some time off for sure because it's giving me a headache at this point. I don't want to hear about Vince McMahon. I don't want to hear about any of the bullshit. I need to take a vacation to the beach. So that's what I'm going to be doing, man. So yeah, this week on AEW, it's going to be a pretty stacked card. Yeah, I'm excited about this, man. The House of Black versus Orange Cassidy and Best Friends for the AEW World Trios titles, man. Orange Cassidy is just getting these titles, these title shots outside of his title now. It's kind of fantastic when you think about it, but I don't expect too much to come out of this. House of Black is going over. And then you got the Guns versus FTR. This right here is got to be the main event of the night. I want to say this is for the tag team titles. If the Guns win, FTR has to leave AEW. And this is where we find out, are we going back to WWE? Because check it out, man. If you did sign a contract thinking that Trips was in charge, FTR, you've made a very, very, very big mistake. I would be kissing that Tony Khan ass if I were you right about now. I'm hoping that that FTR stays, but you just never know, man. I don't know what the deal is. I think it was all the work, but we'll see how it plays out. Get some comments real quick. Let's see here. Steve Kelly says, I won't pay for it. Positively E says, I don't get Jay White, to be honest. Yeah, that's where I'm at with Jay White, man. Like, it's just not for me. But Steve Kelly says, I can't afford $100. Bro, nobody can. This economy's terrible. AEW. He also says, I would love to take your spot. Take my spot. What are we talking here? On the Pro Wrestling Shoot? Do awesome as usual. Matthew Lopez says, it is for the tag team championships. Yeah, it's for the tag team championships, but if FTR loses, then they also have to leave AEW. FTR with the Flava Flav clock on the next SmackDown. Dude, you ain't lying. Because I'm telling you, bro, oh my goodness, if they signed a deal thinking that Vince wasn't going to be involved, they made like the biggest mistake of their life. Matthew Lopez, Reover's hater is going to be awesome. AEW needs FTR. Yeah, see, so I'm not one of those guys that is crazy about Riho too much. I like Riho. It's just not one of my favorite in the women's divisions. I do love Jamie Hayter. I think that she's fantastic, and it's going to be an interesting match to watch for sure. And it's for the women's title too. So Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks is going to be fantastic. Hook versus Ethan Page for the FTW championship. So that's 4 titles on the line, excuse me, this night. And here's a banger match for me personally. Sammy Guevara versus Commander. Commander, if you're not familiar with him, he's worth a Google. Go and check him out. Everybody that's listening past this point, past the WWE talk, and you're still hanging in for AEW, then you're familiar with Commander because he was on AEW before. Fantastic talent. Can't wait to see this match. We also will hear from the Blackpool Combat Club, and then now it's MJF Day as well. So the Acclaim give their answer to the JAS. So I'm assuming we're going to get an Acclaimed rap when it comes down to it. You're going to hear a lot of Vince McMahon jokes. This card from AEW Dynamite looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it. But most importantly, Tony Khan's got a major announcement. He's been pushing it. Listen, everybody was shitting on WrestleMania Night 2. AEW posted at a very weird time at night. It was about 10:30 at night on Pacific Standard Time, which is way later on the East Coast time. And he posted that major announcement. Something is happening with Tony Khan. I don't know if it's the new show. I don't know if it's the video game. I do not know if it's a returning superstar or returning wrestler, I guess we should say, for AEW, or if it is a new hire, or it's just nothing at all. And we get, I've learned not to get too excited for these announcements from Tony Khan. I don't know how you guys feel, but these announcements have just been a letdown for me. I'm not looking forward to another AEW show, personally. I just feel like that's too much on his plate that he needs to do. I feel like with ROH, Rampage, and AEW Dynamite, it's a lot for one man to handle. He needs to bring in some backup. Let me know how you feel in the comments, guys. But what I would like to see is a return from CM Punk. I don't know how you guys feel on that either, but hopefully that's the major announcement. Could be a game changer. We'll see, man. See, everything Pro Wrestling says FTR isn't leaving. See here. Let me put this solo. I don't know where James is at. James has went AWOL on the podcast today. Riho gonna Northern Light suplex Jamie. You can bet the house. Let me see here. Commander versus Vikingo. Supercard was incredible. Yeah, dude. Downloaded your old interview with Justin Lieber. Gonna listen soon. 2K needs him along with Brian. I actually didn't interview Justin Lieber. You might be looking at a different interview, bud. I've interviewed Brian tons of times. I've never interviewed Justin. Let's see here. Matthew Lopez, I think the Tony Khan announcement is going to be the official date of the UK debut. That seat right there, that official date of the UK, that is underwhelming to me. You don't come out and say we have a major announcement for the date of the UK debut. Like that's underwhelming to me. Very, very underwhelming. You just announced that on TV. Like don't even tell people you got a major announcement. The announcement is Tony Khan bought a car and his library. He's going to turn it into a dojo for Willer Yuta so he can dog walk the new guys. We'll see. Called Shibata. I want Punk back yesterday, and the apology had better be as loud as the disrespect. Great promo from CM Punk. He's got the phone call, everything pro wrestling. If you ever need someone to help fill in for you when you go on vacation, I am available. Steve Kelly, I'm so picky the way that this show is ran, I probably wouldn't even trust anybody to do it. I got one guy that I would trust to do it, and that's probably Conrad Cushman. He's actually filled in for me several times on the audio versions of the podcast, so go back and check those out. If you ever need some, I'm rereading your shit over here. Might have been the game marks or something. My bad. No, you're good. You're good. Look, I want to hear about this Fight Forever game. I'm really excited. Everything Pro Wrestling said for real. I'm really excited to hear about AEW Fight Forever, but I'm also tired of waiting for it. So, and I'm tired of bitching about it. I'm tired of talking about it, to be honest. 2K23 is doing great right now. I am enjoying 2K23. The community creations is on fire. It's amazing. I love it. And it's not getting old for me. So I'm enjoying the game. I think this game is going to hold me off until AEW comes out. And I'm kind of glad that AEW is not out right now anyway, because then it would take away from WWE 2K23, which I'm enjoying. And I'd like to enjoy it for the, I don't know, the full potential of the game, I guess. Now I'm actually enjoying the universe mode and the GM mode. I'm done with all their stupid storylines, so I'm good with it. Brian Pearsall says, can't wait for Baby Yoda versus The Rock SummerSlam. Yeah, dude, it's probably going to happen. I mean, as much as I laugh about that, it's ridiculous at this point. The Brian Williams interviews are gold. Yeah, man, they're fantastic, dude. Brian Williams is my boy. I can't wait to. So this next week, I'm actually going to go see him. I'm gonna be hanging out with him in California. So that's part of my vacation. That's why we won't be on here streaming or anything. But not just because of him. It's actually my anniversary with my wife. But while we're down there in California, I'm going to be enjoying the company of my friends, my family, my wife's family. And yeah, it's going to be a good time, man. Going to Disneyland, doing the whole shebang, dude. Matthew Lopez says, I'm enjoying 2K23. Yeah, dude, it's a good game, man. It's a good game. They finally did something right. There's still some glitches and stuff that people will complain about, but for the most part, man, it's pretty good. Guys, James is not here. I'm going to pick a random winner for the XL t-shirt that came straight from WrestleMania 39, and I am going to pick it right now. Steve Kelly, you have won the t-shirt, man. Thank you for always coming in here and supporting the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I appreciate you in the chat. I appreciate your comments. Thanks for always being there, man. Go ahead and shoot me a DM with your address, and I'll have I'll have James ship that out to you. So yeah, man. Great podcast. Sorry I was ranting for so long, dude. I was really depressed this weekend just talking, Vince McMahon crap, Cody Rhodes not getting the win, dude. As you can see, look, I got 5 different Cody shirts, dude. I'm a Cody guy. I understand people are, they feel a certain way about him, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Your opinions are your opinions. That's not going to take away from my opinion. I love Cody Rhodes, and I am heartbroken that we couldn't get a victory from him. But it's all good, man. It's all good. There have been worse things happen in the world, and that worst thing is Vince McMahon is back, unfortunately, and that's just what we have to deal with. Guys, once again, no podcast next week. Thank you guys so much for coming in here and always supporting us. We will be back the following week, I promise, taking a week off. In the meantime, check out all those shorts that we uploaded this weekend. James uploaded tons of new shorts on our channel, and it's all from his WrestleMania weekend. So go and check those out. Give some views. Throw some comments. Get us out there. Some of them have been really successful, so pretty stoked about that. Let's see here. Everybody is congratulating Steve. Congratulations, Steve. Steven says, thanks. Positively E. Got to get that Cody stuff off your chest. Yeah, not physically, though. I like my shirts. Not physically. So he says, peace, man. Hey, thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate it. Until then, man, follow us everywhere at The Pro Wrestling Shoot on all social media. Check us out on our Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Go ahead and leave a rate and review. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell for notifications. You know the drill, man. Get us out there, man. We got some merch in the description of this podcast. You can find a link to our drum site. Go and check out the drum site. We got merch there if you want to support us that way. Support our sponsors over at Manscaped. Use that promo code PWShoot. When we come back, we're going to have a new sponsor, so I'm really excited about that. Making moves, man. The podcast is growing. I'm Jesse Carter. He was James Pinard Jr. Don't know where he went, but till then, we'll see you in a couple weeks right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Pro Wrestling Shoot!